So I was reviewing floor plans with a client last year. Big family, multi-generational, 5 acres in Tennessee. And they showed me what they wanted to build. I'd seen H shapes. I'd seen U shapes. I'd seen W shapes and E shapes and cross shapes and O shapes. I thought I'd seen everything. And then they showed me this plan. 2 wings, offset from each other, connected by a curved central section. And the whole thing traced an S when you looked at it from above. I genuinely stopped. Because I'd never seen it applied to barndominium construction. And I sat there thinking about it. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized this might be the most spatially intelligent multi-generational barndominium layout I had ever seen. Nobody saw this coming. I almost didn't. Here's the whole thing. If you follow barndominium design and you want the configurations that nobody's talking about yet, the layouts that are 2 or 3 years ahead of the mainstream, subscribe to Barndominium Haven right now. Hit the bell. This is exactly the kind of content we live for on this channel. The design ideas that make you stop and say, wait, why hasn't anyone done this before? Stay till the cost section, because the S-shapes numbers are going to surprise you in both directions, cheaper than you think in some places, more expensive than you think in others. Let's get into it. Okay, so first, why hasn't the barndominium world discovered the S-shape yet? Honestly, because the industry is still catching up to the complex configurations. The H-shape is mainstream now. The U-shape has been around long enough that most experienced builders know how to price it. The W and E shapes, those are still niche. Most people building them are doing serious research before they commit. The S-shape is beyond that. It requires a builder who can think about a building in terms of curved or angled connections between offset wings. And most barndominium contractors in 2026 are still working in right angles. Which is actually fine. Because the S-shape as I'm going to describe it doesn't require literal curves. It requires offset. And offset is something any competent steel frame builder can handle if the engineering is right. More on that in a minute. Let's be precise here because the S-shape sounds more complicated than it actually is. An S-shaped barndominium is 2 rectangular wings. Think of them as 2 separate barndominiums. Positioned parallel to each other but offset laterally. So that the left end of wing 1 aligns with the right end of wing 2. And connected by a central section that bridges the offset between the 2 wings. From above, the building traces an S. Wing 1 on the upper left. The connecting section diagonally through the middle. Wing 2 on the lower right. Now, that connecting section can be either genuinely curved, a true S-curve, or it can be angular, 2 angled walls creating a Z-shaped connector that reads as an S from the aerial view. In barndominium construction, steel frame, metal roofing, the angular version is significantly more buildable and significantly less expensive than a true curve. And honestly, the angular version looks better. A true curve in a metal building requires curved steel members and curved roofing panels that add cost and complexity without adding spatial value. The angular connector, 2 planes meeting at an angle, is crisp. It's modern. It reads as intentional. It's what I'd recommend every time. Okay, so why does the offset matter? Why not just build a rectangular building with a connector and call it done? Because the offset does something that no straight connector between parallel wings can do. It creates 2 semi-enclosed outdoor spaces. One on the north face of the building. And one on the south face. That are on opposite sides of the structure. And that face completely different directions. The north-facing outdoor space is cooler. More shaded. More private from the approach. The outdoor room you use in the afternoon when the sun is off it. The south-facing outdoor space is warmer. More open. Better for morning use. The outdoor room that collects winter sun and feels generous on a cool day. 2 outdoor spaces. Two completely different microclimatic conditions. Two completely different social characters. All from one geometric decision, the lateral offset. That's the architectural logic. And I'll be honest with you, when I first saw this layout I didn't immediately see the outdoor space opportunity. I was focused on the interior. It was my client who pointed it out. She said, "I want one outdoor space that's for morning coffee and one that's for evening wind down." And I looked at the plan again and realized. The S shape gives you that as a geometric consequence. You don't design it. It just happens. That's when I knew this was a genuinely intelligent layout. Let me spend a minute on these two outdoor spaces because they're really the heart of the S shape. The south-facing space, the one between the lower face of Wing 1 and the upper face of Wing 2, is bounded on two sides by the building and open on two sides to the south and east. Morning light. Winter warmth. A space that feels connected to the broader landscape while still feeling partially enclosed by the wings on either side. This is your active outdoor space. Breakfast. Kids playing. The energy end of the building. The north-facing space, the one between the upper face of Wing 2 and the lower face of Wing 1, is bounded differently. It receives north light, consistent, diffused, never direct. It's cooler in summer. More sheltered. More private. This is your quiet outdoor space. Evening sitting. Reading. The retreat end of the building. Now, here's the thing I love about this condition. The connecting section between the two wings is the element that both outdoor spaces face. The windows on the south face of the connector look into the active space. The windows on the north face look into the quiet space. The connector is the pivot, the element that mediates between the two outdoor conditions. And it's the most architecturally interesting part of the whole building. That's where I put the primary living and dining space. Looking south for breakfast. Looking north for dinner. I love that. Alright, let's talk about how you actually organize the interior of an S-shaped barndominium. Because the offset creates some interesting floor plan opportunities that a straight building never produces. Wing 1, let's say it's the left wing, upper position, is your private wing. Primary bedroom. Primary bathroom. Maybe a home office. The quiet end. This wing's windows face north into the quiet courtyard, privacy without darkness, and face outward to the lateral exterior of the building, the side that faces away from the approach. Wing 2, right wing, lower position, is your social wing. Kitchen. Living. Dining. This wing's windows face south into the active courtyard and outward to the landscape on the other side. And the connector, the S-curve or angular bridge, is where the interesting stuff lives. A mudroom where the family arrives from the approach. A study or library that enjoys both north and south light depending on which wall you're near. A transition space that acknowledges the building's offset rather than hiding from it. I'd actually suggest a double-height space in the connector. Taking the ceiling all the way up to the connector's ridge. So that as you move through the building from wing to wing, you pass through a dramatic vertical moment. Before arriving in the next wing's more intimate ceiling height. It creates a spatial sequence. Entry, comfortable. Connector, dramatic. Wing, intimate. That sequence is why this building feels different to live in than a straight floor plan of equivalent square footage. Okay. My favorite feature. And it's not the courtyards, even though they're spectacular. It's the approach. When you walk toward an S-shaped barndominium from the driveway, you don't see the whole building at once. You can't. Because the offset means one wing is always slightly behind the other from any approach angle. The building reveals itself as you move toward it. Wing 2's face first, then the connector emerges, then wing 1 appears behind and to the side. It's a sequential experience. A cinematic experience. The building is performing as you approach it. Not performing in the showy, look at me sense, but performing in the architectural sense, where the building is doing something interesting with your experience of it before you've even crossed the threshold. I've designed a lot of buildings. That's not something most floor plans give you. It's genuinely special. Alright, the mistake. And I've seen this in the early concept drawings from clients who've researched the S-shape and tried to design it themselves. So pay attention. The mistake is making the connector too narrow. People see the S-shape and they think the connector is just a corridor, a hallway connecting two wings. So they design it at 8 feet wide. Maybe 10 feet. And it becomes a hallway. A long, slightly diagonal hallway between two real buildings. The connector in an S-shaped barndominium needs to be a room. Minimum 16 feet wide. Ideally 20 to 24 feet. Wide enough to have a functional purpose beyond circulation. Wide enough to feel like the center of the building rather than the space between its parts. Wide enough to accommodate the double-height ceiling I mentioned earlier without feeling like a tall narrow slot. If your S-shaped connector is a corridor, you've built a building that's connected in plan but disconnected in experience. The S-shape's whole value is the relationship between the wings. And that relationship lives in the connector. Give it room. I want to be honest about who the S-shape actually serves. Because it's not for everyone. It's for a specific household. Multi-generational families where genuine zone separation between generations is the primary design brief. But where the household doesn't want the compound model of separate structures. They want one building. They want connection. They just want the connection to be on their terms. The S-shape gives the grandparents one wing, private, with their own outdoor room. And the primary family the other wing, with a different outdoor room. Connected by a shared center that both wings face. It's not the absolute separation of a compound. It's not the compression of a rectangular floor plan. It's the middle ground, architecturally resolved. For the family that wants to be one household and two households at the same time. It's also genuinely excellent for a home-based creative professional. One wing for living. One wing for the studio, the workshop, the office. And the S-shape's offset creates enough acoustic separation between the two wings that the work zone and the living zone feel genuinely distinct without being disconnected. If either of those profiles sounds like you, this building might be yours. Okay. Real numbers. 2026 mid-cost US market. 2 wings, each approximately 40 by 50 feet, 2,000 square feet per wing. Plus a connector of approximately 24 by 30 feet, 720 square feet. Total conditioned space, approximately 4,720 square feet. Steel kit, 2 rectangular wing structures plus the angular connector framing. The connector framing is the cost driver here. It requires custom angle steel members at the junction points between the connector and each wing. And those custom members add cost over a standard kit. Steel kit and erection, $88,000 to $132,000. Structural engineering, specific to the offset junction conditions, $5,500 to $9,000. Foundation, 2 separate slab areas connected under the connector, $42,000 to $62,000. Closed cell spray foam across both wings and connector, $52,000 to $76,000. Plumbing, 2 full wing programs, $26,000 to $38,000. Electrical, 2 zones plus connector, $22,000 to $32,000. HVAC, 3-zone mini-split, $18,000 to $26,000. Septic sized for full household, $12,000 to $18,000. Well, $8,500 to $13,000. Outdoor room development, both courtyards, $28,000 to $48,000. Interior finishes, 2 wings plus connector, $62,000 to $96,000. Contingency, 15%, $55,000 to $82,000. Total realistic build cost, $419,000 to $632,000 fully finished, mid-cost US market, 2026. Per square foot, approximately $89 to $134 per conditioned square foot. That's actually more cost-efficient per square foot than an O-shape or a complex W-shape of equivalent square footage. Because the two rectangular wings build efficiently. And the connector, while custom, is a single relatively contained element. The cost premium over a standard rectangular barndominium of the same square footage is approximately 18 to 28%. Driven primarily by the connector engineering and the foundation complexity. I'm not going to pretend this build is simple. It's not. The junction conditions, where the connector meets each wing, are the most structurally complex details in the building. They're not H-shaped complex, the H-shape has two junctions. This has two as well. But they're angular junctions, not right-angle junctions. And angular connections in steel frame construction require specific engineering and specific builder experience. Your builder needs to have built angular connections in steel before. Not approximated them. Not figured it out on site. Built them. With documentation. With a completed project you can visit. The permitting will take longer than a standard barndominium. An offset two-wing structure with an angular connector is not a configuration most county building departments have a precedent file for. Budget 3 to 5 extra months for the permitting process in most jurisdictions. And financing, same barndominium story, portfolio lenders, USDA rural development, construction to permanent. Nothing different here, just the standard alternative construction financing landscape. Here's my honest take on the S-shaped barndominium. It's one of the most spatially intelligent multi-generational floor plan configurations I've encountered in barndominium construction. The two courtyard condition, one active, one quiet, produced by pure geometry, is something I've never seen another layout deliver as a natural consequence of its own shape. The sequential approach experience. The connector as the dramatic center. The zone separation that doesn't feel like separation. These aren't things you achieve by adding features. They're things the S-shape gives you because of what it is. Is it for everyone? No. Is it the easiest build? No. Is it the cheapest configuration? No. But for the right family. The multi-generational household that wants one building, two lives, and two outdoor spaces that feel like completely different places. The S-shape is the most complete architectural answer I know of in barndominium construction. And I genuinely think in 3 to 5 years, we're going to see a lot more of them. You heard it here first. Subscribe to Barndominium Haven. Drop your thoughts on the S-shape in the comments. I want to know if this is something you'd actually build. And I'll see you in the next one.